Welcome to the 89th annual Fall into the Holidays design class. I guess starring me and you, Steve Bacigalupo. I'm the Director of Facilities here at the club, and I've been doing Christmas and the holidays for approximately 30 of the 35 years I've been employed here. And it's been an honor and a lot of fun. And we started this out a long time ago. And in fact, I can't even remember when our chair, Charlotte Mouchot, started with me, but it's been a while. So Charlotte is now passing the watering can of the Garden Society on to our new chair, Mary Beth, I love the last name, Rabidou. So we'd like to gift Charlotte with this little, it's not so little. Where'd she go? Oh, there you are. Okay. So this is for you. Don't open it now, because then everybody will be jealous, and then I'm going to have to make more. So. Absolutely. So I call Mary Beth as well. But we're going to start now because we have a lot to cover. This all kind of came about. What you'll see today I've never actually done before. Well, I have done it, but not here, or taught this before. And that is a very, very simple one thing for Thanksgiving, and then we'll go right into Christmas. So for Thanksgiving, we always talk about don't put your decoration on the table you're going to eat off of, because you want to eat, right, and drink. So put it on another table. Maybe there's one in the foyer. Maybe there's something else in the dining room. Maybe you put it on a buffet in the I don't know, the living room or the family room, but it should be someplace else. And that way you don't have to move it, you can enjoy it, and you're not fussing with it while you're trying to get down and chow down and celebrate the family and friends you've invited. So that's tip one. This year, I went back after many comments about buying things from Shop Terrain last year, to Hobby Lobby, because they were really expensive. So this is a Hobby Lobby tray, and I think they did this really well. This is real wood. They did it in kind of an late 18th century farmhouse deal with steel, and I really, really fell in love with this tray and a couple of other ones that they had. This also comes in different sizes, and if you're at the 50% off sale, that happens almost every week. You too can have this tray, and this could even go on a tray on a table of mahogany or cherry or whatever. So a couple of things. With Thanksgiving, you really always have to have a pumpkin. It doesn't have to be an orange pumpkin. I pulled this pumpkin out of some pumpkin patch a couple of weeks ago, and it was white, and now it's this really funky yellow. And with this, you have to kind of think in terms of, the easiest way is to think in terms of an L if you're not, design oriented. So this is a top, and you just go like this, and trust me, it'll work. One thing about fall that I like to say is if you can't do fall, go do something else, because it's the easiest thing probably to do. Really, all you need is a pumpkin and some Indian corn laying down next to it, and maybe a couple of apples and some dried leaves or pine cones. You're good. Everyone's like, oh, you're a genius, come and do my house. And you say, sure, for a price, I'll be over, just let me know. Another thought for fall, and this really everybody, I'm looking around the room, can do. You can go to the forest and put pull some Spanish moss, or if you're down south, pull some off of a tree. Or if you're in Hobby Lobby, you can pull some out of a bag, and you can use that as a base, because fall's very forgiving, and it also just adds to it. So you just add these elements, very earthy elements to it. This is a gray Spanish moss with no color added. And then one of the best deals for fall that happens, and many of you I would suspect have gardens. I know you have parkways and the like, and that is the hydrangea. If you have an hydrangea, you've got the fall premier floral, and you can start drying these if you want, mid-July here, when they start turning color. Just cut them, turn them upside down, leave them in an airy space, not in some wet space because they'll get all funky, but in a dry place. And by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, you don't have to go out and spend any money. Or, if there's a neighbor who's been bugging you, you can go clip some of theirs, Or in our case, what I like to do is if mine are shot because of some snow, like what happened last week, there's always the Meridian in Michigan Avenue. If you're in green, they're going to think you work for the city. Just put one of those horrid lime jackets on, right? Look down and clip away. They're going to be thinking you work for the park district. And then you can jump in front of traffic. They'll be annoyed. You'll be happy. It'll be good. So, and they really have, when you go out today, you're going to look at those and go, that is a good idea. Don't all go at the same time. Especially not dressed like you are, because then they'll have an issue. But hydrangeas are a great filler, and they're not perfect. Well, fall's not a perfect season, right? It really isn't. Or you can do some faux stuff if you like to add some color. Oh, not faux. Oh, ho, ho, yes, faux. And here we've got some other things, acorns, faux squash. There's a lot of things out there on the market. And this is one of the best things that I found that covers a multitude of sins, and that is faux berries. So you don't want to buy any berry that you see with styrofoam, because you'll have that styrofoam all over your property, little piddly things until spring. It's kind of irritating. Buy plastic. Feel the thing. As it pops and it's plastic, hard plastic, buy it. This, you really don't have to have any whatever. You can just lay it down and let it be, and like the song says, let it be, and it's good. Then there's, of course, leaves. Now, I use not normal leaves that fall off trees. I use glycerin leaves pretty much because they stay the same. I don't use those wretched ones with the red, orange, and brown all on the same leaf, over-dyed, mass-produced from who knows where. Probably people who are colorblind. So I use ones that are bleached out in color, that look natural. And that just adds to the fall. Of course, if I had some Indian corn, I would throw that in. But what I do have, another iconic fall thing, feathers. So if you don't have any pheasants around, Hobby Lobby's done that for you. And they've actually gathered them in these bouquets. And you can tuck them in on the side for dramatic flair. And people go, oh, I didn't know that you had birds that you kept. Well, you don't know everything about me. So that's great. Here's some very long ones. These will cost you more. But they're still feathers. Yeah. The feathers, these feathers you can get from Michael's. they have racks of them in different colorways. Try to pick the more natural ones. The long ones, honestly, I got from, where did I get those from? Sentimental Gardens out in Geneva, which we've been to. By the way, those sheets in front of you, take them home. There's a lot of information on them. I'm not prone to promote other places, but I'm going to promote two. November, I think it's 14th, 15th, it's on there. Bloomin' Gardens, where we were at there this summer. It's their holiday weekend. Go, because you'll get real deals out there. And November 29th and 30th, Deborah Phillips at Sentimental. If you go to that shop that we went to, they're going to take you by luxury limo over to her house. She's doing the Christmas house of Geneva, actually in her house in Wayne. And then you're going to go back to the shop, and she's going to give you a free ornament. So sounds like a plan. If I wasn't here doing a 25-foot tree, I would be taking a limo van over there. And then, of course, on the 30th, we're doing a gingerbread house, which if you want to do, I would sign up today, because Tanisha and I are doing it, and we are sold out, right? So sign up, and maybe we can squeeze you in. Just say, Steve told me I could sign up, and then we'll sign up. Okay, so here is your tray. Did he just throw that? Yeah, I did. Here is your tray to put on your table. A couple of apples would be beautiful on this. And as for linen, I really, really, really would say do wash burlap, do actual linen, do something simple. This is great, a great fabric. This is ticking, which if it was me, I'd wash and then sew. This is from Ballard Design. And now there's a Ballard in Oak Brook. So you don't have to wait for it. You could just go there and tell them what you want. That's pretty cool. I was there last week, and it was very helpful. So that, my friends, oh, one other thing. Don't forget about your dried roses. That also can play into a fall motif. So these are dried roses, actual dried roses. So that's fall. All right. So the next thing is Christmas. And I love Christmas. And this whole presentation came about, the thought about this, is because last Christmas, when I went home, Diana, my lovely wife of now 31 years, said, honey, you really, really want to do our tree? I'm like, of course I want to do your tree, the tree. But Steven, it's another 8-foot tree. You did a 25, a couple of 12s, 8s, countless other ones here. Then when you come home, we got to do this, this, and this. And you're exhausted. So I would like you to consider at least doing a, and then she's like, a tabletop tree. Are you out of your mind? I'm not doing a tabletop. She goes, will you please, really, for us, could you please consider it? Just consider it. Because in our house, we do one thing. We have this great, great room, and we have this ginormous mirror, gilt mirror, beveled. It's about 8.5 feet high. And we move it at 2 times a year. And for Christmas, we always stick it in a corner between these 2 windows, and we do our tree in front of it. So if you have a mirror in front of a tree, you multiply the tree effect. So for us, it's the tree, the back of the tree, which is in that mirror. The 2 side windows are reflected, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 trees going on all at the same time. And the effect is really, I have to say, stunning. Plus, with me doing it, I'm just like all week long. You're up. We can't even watch any shows because you're in front of that television. It's not sort of. She's like, so can you please consider this? And I'm like, okay, whatever. What kind of table? So we have a table. So I start to do this. Now I'm going to start to do what I did there. And I didn't even think about this until I was actually doing it. So this is our tree, right? It's a 5-foot tree. And I whipped around LED lights so they don't burn out and all that stuff. And so then I'm going to do a type of our tree. So where's the first part of my tree? Where are you? This is strange. Okay. Watch, I'll find it. So the first thing I do, let me step back a moment, is I got to put this tree in a pot. So last year I find this pot, this container, at Home Depot, not in the store. Go to Home Depot online, and Home Depot online is a completely different experience than in the store. So online, they have, I can't even believe this, it might be 6,000 planters or plant containers. It's bizarre and crazy. I have since then bought, not that many, but I've bought several different types for the club, this being one of them. And I thought, you know what, that would look nice on top of a table. It's aged. I really like things that are aged or in reality or faux aged. So I'm like, how am I going to screw this? And then I remember, do you remember in 5th and 6th grade when you did that lava rock project, right? We did one and drove the nuns crazy, which was awesome at the time. Probably still is. Anyway, we used plaster of Paris, and that's what I used. I took 2 of these. You could get it at Ace or whatever, Home Depot, and I think it's less than $5. You pour it in the thing. You sit on you don't have to be a scientific genius to do it. You just add water, and I'm stirring, and it starts getting very, very hard very quickly. And I jammed the end of the post of this tree, and then I just kind of sat there for about 10 minutes, and that was it. It was done. You could not move it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Then I lit it, of course. And then I'm thinking, well, it's time to do the decorations. And while I'm standing there looking at it, I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I think of this before? Here you are. So, my one whatever with shop terrain. This is a copper, it's now gold because I didn't like the copper. Christmas tree ornament. Partridge in a pear tree. So I go to put that on for the top of the tree. And they provide 2 wires. They also have ones that look like stars. I think there's an angel. Anyway, I don't know if you can notice or not, but I'm not standing on a 8-foot ladder, bent over, freaking out because all ladders kind of freak me out, and for fear of falling, especially at this, because I'm one of those persons of a certain age now. And while I'm actually doing this, I have a flash of this class right here. So when this all goes through my head at the same time. And I'm thinking, what is the demographic of this event that I do every year? It's persons of a certain age, and also And also, intermingled with that are professional career women. There may be a few moms with kids, but this would work, young kids, this would work there too. But really, when I started doing this, I'm like, I put the top of the tree, I don't know about you, we have a little angel figurine, and it's like I'm back and forth, and I'm not like, oh my God, I hope I'm gonna, even if someone's there holding the ladder, I didn't go up a ladder. I did this. The other thing I got to do, which I never or hardly am able to do, is I like to do stuff coming out of the tree. By stuff, I mean product, granted full product, and use, you can't do this with a real tree. Twist the product, come on. To get some kind of spray effect, which I think really makes it look all that more beautiful. So, but again, I'm not on a ladder doing this. I'm in a little rush now because I got to get done with this tree in an hour. But the fact of the matter is, this is really simple for anybody in this room pretty much to do. It's not difficult, and you have way, 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 way more control over the design. And by the time I get done, you're going to think, oh, you know what? I could have worked for Marshall Fields in its heyday doing windows, because the tree is not just the end of it all. So then I started doing the back of the tree. And let me pull some of this stuff out. I don't know if you've noticed, but we've got a lot of really beautiful boxes up here, right? They're all Christmassy kind of boxes. And these boxes come from, it's on your sheet, a company called Traditions Christmas. You get these beautiful painted boxes from a woman called Beth Lau, I believe. And there is so much on there. I don't know if you like nostalgia, but this place is like Nostalgia City. And again, I'm not standing on some precipice or banging into anything. I'm watching a movie while I'm doing this. Probably White Christmas. And I'm thinking, this is, you know, if I want to stop and have, I don't know what, cocoa, whatever, eggnog, whatever it is, I can do that. I could also do this with my spouse who was just getting over back surgery. You know, you got to do what you can do when you can do it. And that doesn't mean anything's over. You just translate into something else. So that doesn't want to go on the tree. So the color scheme, is this the color scheme of my house? Not so much, but it was attractive. And it's a way to show you that it's very simple to do this. Now, there is a method to the madness of decorating a tree that most people don't get, but this will help you out. If I can find the... Oh, here you are. Okay. So when you do a tree, any tree, you got to think geometrically, okay? And think in terms of pyramids. So if you have a large ornament like this, you want to kind of balance your tree out, and whatever you do, endeavor, a lot of people, who cares? I don't like things when they're like this. That looks bizarre to me. You really got to try to have that ornament hang straight. If it doesn't, move it until it does. Like when I do the work here with we have a great engineering and painter group, and they help me do all this. That's real interesting. They make me laugh a lot. I think I make them cry a lot. I didn't tell you to put, I told you to put that branch in. Put the leaves down wherever you see the tree with the, oh man, if he keeps talking, I'm gonna drop this bucket of paint on his head. But, yes. No, I'm good, I'm good. But you think, and now here's another great thing about this tree, which you can't do on a regular tree, like we've had up for years. I can't do the back of my tree. Well, I can, but I'm like stretching, pulling out my back. I'm just standing pretty much in the same place. And then I can change channels if I want. I can let the dog out. And you try to work in triangles. Unfortunately for me, I have triangles in my mind. Some people have to draw it out. That's what you need to do. But you're probably in the financial market, so you're good. You're making money because that's how you operate. So with me, it's like you kind of know what you know. You see it in your head, and you just keep moving along. So when you get the ones that are kind of the heavy-duty ones, you kind of stand back and say, okay, this needs filler. This needs something else. That's okay. Pretty much what we did kind of a ornament cleansing a couple of years ago. We took all the regular bulb, the plastic or the cheap glass or whatever that didn't mean anything, and we gave them away to a shelter, and we kept everything that meant something. So now the tree really has taken on a completely different meaning. You know, it's more like, oh, I remember this, I remember that, I remember whatever it is. The other thing, too, is to really invest in special ornaments. So, again, there's another group out there. Traditions Christmas is very important, I think. The other group is Etsy. You really have to kind of look on Etsy and read it, but keep typing and you'll find things. So this really quasi-Victorian piece was done by a lovely lady in Elk Grove Village who sent me 3 of them. The price was right. She made these by hand. And I have a thing for Victoriana, you know. You have to at Christmas time. You wouldn't have a Christmas tree if it wasn't for Prince Albert. And it would take a German to bring a tree into a house and go, hey, this is how we're going to do Christmas from now on. Because they know how to celebrate. Okay, so if you have big ornaments like this, and they happen to rip, this is a perfect example. You can either try to rip that off or fix it. Because I'm on this, I don't want to bore you. I'm just going to put this in here. Oh, what a genius. Okay, so This one on this side. We have here, this one. This is a great ornament. And there's a lot of daughters in this room. This you should put in the tree when your mom comes over. Thank you, Mother, for everything. I love you, Mom. Oh, look at your sister didn't do that for me. I know. I know. She's busy, you know. I know. I sent my sister Donna last year's tape. She called me up. She's like, "You're one of the craziest people I know. Look who I grew up with." That's. So here you have some of this kind of material. Do me a favor, don't be like Ann Bacigalupo and leave the tags on. Rule number 1, I love you, Ma, but no. Probably because she was a banker. Want to know where every penny was. Take all the tags off of everything before you do it. Otherwise, it's going to look really weird. I'm going to hear about it. I'm going to have to do a drive-by. So you don't want that. So, and, you know, here in the club, people are, I have to, I'll just tell the truth. So on the tree on the grand staircase, on average, if you see this, I want you to call me and let me know. Don't confront the person. But I miss almost 20 ornaments a year. Oh yeah, they're probably taking them home for keepsakes. But I can get them styrofoam a whole lot for less. But it's incredible sometimes. I'm like, how did they get up there? How did that happen? Now these ornaments here, these are a little bit different. These are glass ornaments, and this is a company, you have this on your sheets too, Balsam Hill. Now that place is interesting. I like them up to a point, but you have to be, you know, a snob like me when you're what you want to get and what you don't. But this was a nice collection, right price. Iced glass ornaments. Very, very, very beautiful. And the right price. I think you got something close to 50. And they're big for a glass ornament. And they're pretty. The other thing too, they're wrapped in styrofoam, so you still have some Christmas when you take them out of the box. I'm like, I'm coated with this stuff. And then they're like, what do you like about, I like the fact that you should wrap them not in styrofoam anymore. After my note. I also like the fact that they produce this drip kind of ornament. You don't really see this often too much anymore. This is really old-fashioned. But that line really is beautiful on a tree. So it's not just all baubles of round. You really want some things. You want icicle-like features. And with that, you can actually hang, you gotta be how they hang, because they have to hang straight. Come on, move. And you don't need to be afraid to put them too close together, because that works if they're hung correctly. Then with this collection, They also give you these kind of detail ones that are kind of pretty. And again, you can put these in the back of your tree, which I find just remarkable. So I don't know if you've been noticing, but this tree is really decorated. I've been doing this for 15 minutes. This could happen in your house. How cool is that? The longest part of doing this particular tree is the lights. So the lights I will speak to like right now. These are moon drop lights. You can find these at Home Depot after the Christmas sales, blah, 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 blah. But now I got to find them now that I referenced them. Green. Oh, here you are. So here's the wonder of LED. There are 180 lights on a strand. Now, that's awesome. There are LED lights that I buy and that you can buy. Well, you can purchase them now in stores, not just for designers. The lights that we have on the tree here in the Cathedral Hall are 1,000 lights per strand. So we put about 200,000 lights on the tree here in Cathedral. But this is the LED light, and this is any LED light. So you have a little Scotch tape thing here, which I should put my glasses on so I don't rip it out of the... And this is really fascinating. See, it's little, like little teardrops. I'll go out here. The problem with it is, see, Jean, you can barely see them.
Is that what's on there?
That's what's on the tree. Yeah. You can wire them onto the tree. See how tiny they are?
But they look so much bigger.
They look way bigger on the tree because of the light. Now, the other thing with these, you can actually take a scissor and cut them. So like, remember, like I called them the Italian lights, those little mini lights? 1, 2 goes out, there goes the whole. And you're always looking, where is that? So I can replace it, and then you get fed up and you put another line on the tree because you can't find it. We can pass these around. But the difference is that you cannot connect an LED to another LED strand. You have to go directly to an outlet. So on this outlet, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another power cord, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 light strands. Now, there's a couple of them on there. It's not the 180 that we're passing around. It's a strand of 960 lights. But they come on this like curl thing. The first one I did, I was like, I'm gonna shoot myself in the head because they got caught up. You can't even unwind them. It's too difficult. So I figured out this one where I'm like, I feel like I'm in the middle of the Rapunzel story with the hair and the weaving, and the witches got me locked up in this dark place called my office as I'm trying to get this damn thing unwound, and it keeps becoming nuts. The second one, I got a little bit smarter and went on. So there's that. But that's the brilliance, but also the challenge of LED. And here's a note that's interesting. That fountain across the street is an LED fountain. And the artist who did that, very, very, very different. That whole setup with the faces, and that's all LEDs, and that was kind of like cutting edge electronic art. And that's how this came about, through processes like that. Now we're going to go to another aspect of this, if I can find it. Here, I'll save these for a little bit later. There's a company on your card sheet. I think it says 32 degrees. Where are you guys at? So 32 degrees is a Victorian, here you are. Victorian reproduction cards. They're embossed, they're impressed, they're really cute. And they're done in the colorways of that time period. So what we do at our place, I have cards like this. Actually, my mom used to send these things out to people as Christmas cards. So I have some of those, and those have been on my tree now for 30-some years. And this is another thing to do, maybe you've never done it before, is to put these in as a decoration, a freestanding decoration. They have typical, old-fashioned, immediately recognizable images. Okay. Does anybody know Charlotte, our catering manager? Delightful lady. So Charlotte, don't anybody tell her this, because I'll find out who it is. I found this one, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for Christmas. Because Charlotte is a Swedish file person. So, isn't that cute? I don't understand these people at all. That horrid fish, worst meatballs. No wonder they get excited about Christmas, because maybe there's something decent to eat. Always with the flags. I'm like, what's up with the straw ornaments? Do you have nothing else to make an ornament with, the red thread and straw? That's my heritage. Yeah, well, your heritage is gefilte fish too, but a worse form of it. So, yeah, the company, 32 Degrees, really wonderful, brilliant postcards from the past. Come on. And of course, there's a lot of Santa, and I ordered those because I love Santa Claus. Love, 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 love Santa Claus. In the club here, I played Santa Claus for 18 years at the children's holiday party. Then one time I was in the hospital and they were running around looking for somebody to play. Anybody know Gary, the painter from Ireland? You know what Gary looks like, right? A stick? Gary was the Santa Claus for that party. With that Irish brogue. Top of the morning, what would you like Santa to bring you? Hysterical. Santa, why did you lose some weight? Oh, I've been chasing down the reindeer. I'm a runner in my part-time, which he is. He runs marathons and goes to Olympics. Quite a character. Gary, by the way, comes back. Is this now his second year? He must be completely out of his mind. He comes back and he's rewiring all my wreaths for me in another cave we have here. So I'm very thankful to him. Where we go? Yeah. So even if you had something this big, you really could have fun with it, especially if you're Swedish, because all they do is put those hay ornaments, but also they use their flag everywhere, like it's some big streamer. So that could actually go on a Christmas tree and be completely appropriate. And when you see this, I hope you ate beforehand, because you're not going to have really good food there. So there's that. And that is from a company called 32 Degrees. Now we're going to move on. And now I need Daniel to come up here. Daniel is one of our favorite banquet waiters, and he's going to help me with this part of it. So thank you, my friend. So we'll get that cleaned up. We're just going to put this here for now. Now here's another company. Danny, just relax, because I forgot I have to say one more thing. Oh, yeah. So I found another company. You could put that on that table. That's good. So last year, while Diane and I are looking for a tablecloth, I discovered that nobody makes any tablecloth that I think would work with my tree, now that I got the tree done. And in our house. So we go, I don't know how many places. Finally, we end up at a place called Home Goods, which I'd never actually been in before. And I know many people have, but I never went in there before. And I was like, what is this? And of course, they had no tablecloths, even close to the size, let alone color. I'm like, okay, let's go somewhere else, because I want to get this done. And we're walking through the bedroom department, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a flannel, white, king-size sheet set, and that bottom is a fitted sheet, and it has silver snowflakes on it. Well, this is our tree. I'm like, maybe that. I threw that thing on top of the table, automatic ruffle. But an appropriate automatic ruffle. I'm thinking, I gotta sew this, I gotta break out the nothing. Just throw it on. Okay, Diane, we're doing this. We're gonna wash it, get it a little fuzzy, get the creases out of it. And that's what we did. But for this class, I went a little bit further. So on your sheets is another company whose name right now escapes. Oh, Table something. Tablecloth. This is, I bought 3 kinds, all the same size. This is a 90-inch velvet, very nicely hemmed, in silver, and I bought it in gold and in rose, because I want to see which one would I use. And so this is a little bit smaller table than we have at home, but you see the drape and the quality. So now we're going to do this. You're going to pick up the tree. So I have someone to blame if something happens to it. And I'll move this over. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You got it? Okay. Okay. Okay, so, thank you, Daniel. So I'm trying to, in a way, emulate my home look. But this thing obviously needs a whole lot more ornaments on it. And I'll just keep talking because we have some time. So this is the part that, look at this, the stressless holiday. Now you can just have fun. So what are you going to do? If you're going to do this, you do the under the tree. So all of a sudden, this part becomes very important. All these wires will disappear. Trust me. Stay there. So with this, you start doing the bottom of the tree. Now, what's happened is this. So let math be your friend. 5-foot tree, 60 inches. This, from top to bottom, is 18 inches, 78 inches, right? This I'm going to call this 30 inches. So all added up together, how tall is that? One more time. 60 plus 18 is 78, plus another 30 is divided by 12? A 9-foot tree, right? 9 feet. I have an 8-foot tree. Now I have a 9-foot tree. I have an 8-foot mirror. I can't even go up that far on these mirrors. But that's what's reflected, and the back of the tree is reflected. And it's reflected between 2 windows. And you can pull this off in your home. And it's, as you saw, and I still have a half hour left, that is not that big of a deal. Now we're going to talk about, a little bit more. How to make this really come to life. So I'm going to stop with the ornaments, probably for right now, and we're going to do something else. So in my house, I have these lovely wrought iron chairs with woven seats from, I can't even remember the name of the company anymore. And here I have what they call Chiavari chairs. So, at my house, I put one chair here, and I put this other chair here. Go back to the fall. Okay. I have 2 chairs on either side. And then I start to pretend that I actually do work at the old Marshall Fields. So I use the boxes that we keep the ornaments in. And I can attest to how this looks in reality, because I have a witness, and that would be Tanner. So who came over to I'm like, you got to come over to my house and see what I did at you're never going to believe it. And I got to tell you, these glass ornaments from Balsam Hill really are beautiful. All joking aside, they just light it up. No, under here, it's fill. And fill to drip. Because you want to fill this in because it's now a visible part of the tree. Most trees, you never see the bottom, right? Now, really, you could put a number of things here. If you celebrate with a nativity scene, that could go underneath this tree, full force. Santa collections, faux gifts, real gifts. And then you don't forget the back of the tree either. My guess is that you'll feel far more relaxed. You'll be really, really unstressed when you do this. And then when people come into your house, they're going to be like, whoa. And then you have this empty box. What do you do with that? Come on. Leave it. And then you create a different kind of look. And I also like to use, which is, now they're coming back quite a bit, clip-ons of birds. All different kinds of birds. Oh yeah, one thing. My favorite, snow. So with the snow, the fluff snow, you just fill this in here. Whoop, as you get caught on the wire. Now this snow, I got this at Hobby Lobby. And you just could cover this wire. And at the end of the season, just toss it. You don't really need it. Not at $3 a bag for this stuff. Save it, no. Okay, so, yeah. Uh-oh, it's snowing on the chair. Come on. Now, another thing you can do is get decorative branches and kind of work them a little bit. And on the top of branches, for the holidays here at the club, you will see this in many different forms. Somebody asked me, why don't you do green trees anymore? They're real. I go, well, that's why, because I like fantasy. I like magic at the holidays. I like people to be like, oh. I like to watch people smile. Most of the parties we put on here, if I'm involved in it, if I can be spared registration, which scares the hell out of me because I'm going to get something wrong. But the fact is, if I'm part of it, I really do like to stand in the background and watch people enjoy themselves. It makes me really happy and smile, especially here. This place is a very unique opportunity in which I get to play pretty much here. I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's also play because I get to pretty much do what I want to do, which is unbelievable. People don't get that. I don't really hear no very often. I hear how much a lot, but I don't hear it. I think I found these at, let's see, where did I find them? Michael's. That's another thing. When you shop, if you don't know, well, I'm talking to all women. I know you know everything. But the fact is, if you don't go at the beginning, forget it. It's gonna get wiped out. So when you see Christmas, even if it's like August, go. Because if you go at the end of September, it's all, done. The nice way of saying picked over, I say it's all pretty much crap then. It's just stuff nobody wanted. Just forget it, And this stuff to me, this is what drives the engineers crazy. Quit putting them upside down, please. It looks like I don't know what I'm doing, even though I'm not up on the scaffolding. But, okay, down, 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 down. Oh, yeah. Okay, got to put this stuff up. So, this is just me. So they sold these, they're like $6 or $4 at Hobby Lobby. And then they sold them like this. And I'm like, ugh. You got any of do they have a wrapping paper like this? Oh yeah, I bought that. And then I decoupaged that from that. Because I didn't want to look at this wreath. So just change it. Change what you don't like, right? Tanner's going, oh yeah, what's the change everything. Okay. Now we got some other interesting things. I also like toys, all sorts of toys, like this white owl. So I don't care if it has anything to do with Christmas or not. I found this really cool black globe once. So, because I like it, I'll put it on the tree. And Diane's like, what is that doing? Don't like it, don't look at it. I like it. And that's dear. Don't you have something to bake? She's a great baker. She's a killer baker, killer cook, killer baker. This was from, anybody who know the name Mary Emmerling? Yes. So Mary Emmerling, very, very significant person in the design world who brought really forth the whole country look of the early 70s, late 70s. She had that on the front of her, one of her books. I also like Santa, like I said. So here's some cutouts. This is from those folks at Christmas Traditions. I also might take notes just in case. Yeah, I like sheep. What can I get that Steve for Christmas? I think he likes sheep. I like teddy bears. To the point where I bought this one and roughed it up so it looked like an antique teddy bear. Took out an eye, made this red. And my daughter was not allowed to play with it when she was a child. I like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, especially if he's beat up and is around the same time I am, because I'm a little beat up now. Christmas trees, can't have enough of those. I'm a gardener. That is a beautiful flower whose name escapes me right now. On the floor, where they belong. Because somebody else might have wrapped them, and they're not working with the scene that I've created. Really, Diana, I didn't mean that. This is what is this? A Valentine's Day card, like the one I sent her one time. Then you got these beads. So like beads like this, yeah, they're a great idea. I don't have time for this stuff. So I just like, what's that? Don't you know style and art when you see it? It's obvious. Okay, so then I put the ugly one on top on. Then I put this one on top of that to cover it up. And these go on the other side. Stay there. Okay. And then we'll start doing this. So these boxes are awesome. Again, this is my favorite of this season. These boxes from Bethel, from Traditions Christmas. Whoops. And again and again and again. You create your own magical scene. Come on. And Traditions, I've bought a couple other Santas. They're very cute. But there is, and again, I'm going to do a shout out to Deborah Phillips out in Geneva. There is an artist in Geneva, if you're maybe familiar with this person. I don't even know this woman's name. She makes hand-made Santas. She makes the face, she makes the clothes, she makes the articles that Santa's carrying. I don't know how many, they're this big, this wide. Each one is uniquely different. The clothing's different, the hats are different. Deborah gets, I don't know, 20, 25 in a season. But that woman has a house sale in her house, and it's mobbed. It's probably halfway done over already. But there are people still out there, craftspeople, who still do that work. All this here, this was refuse from last year's Christmas in the club. See, antlers, just like Gasson decorating in all my antlers and all of my decorating. And then you can find great paper at Paper Source. These are all Paper Source papers. If you want to have your presents look like your tree. Oh, there's one other thing. This. So this is a ribbon, unlike any other ribbon. You cannot find these in the stores anymore. You have to go online. I have a bag around it here somewhere. If you're interested, I can give you the name of it. But if you don't, I always hear people, I don't know how to tie a bow. I don't know how to tie a bow. That's code for, will you wrap my present for me? Oh, yeah. All the time. Steve, you do such a great job. Could you, please? I just like, oh. Okay, my car isn't feeling good. Do you want to come over and fix that? Because that's what I can. You're a mechanic. People are funny, aren't they? Anyway, so this product, I wish I had invented it. To me, it's the simplest, best bow in the world. So you make a bow like you make a bow. And it always wants to escape its destiny. But come on. Obey. Okay. Pull this. Okay. That's pretty cool. But it can be better if I had a pair of scissors. Because if you cut these, everything goes boom, right? And then you really have a very interesting bow. There's that. And again, these boxes, you could give these boxes as gifts. But if you're setting a scene up in your house, again, pretending you're working at Marshall Field. And then you have these guys. Now that's a Santa. This is Christmas traditions. They have this in every flippin' color of the rainbow. So you got to get him out here. Stay there. And then Santa to the moon and back. They called it, said, we want you to comment on our, I'm like, well, I thought you could put it on a tree, so that's one comment. And then their comment back was, well, we did print the size of it, so this is the size. That would be an awfully big tree. I'm like, oh, thank you. So you got me there. Oh, yeah, I don't want to forget these two guys. So I've also been known to take full size. These are supposed to be like for, I don't know, a fireplace or some flat surface. That would just be way too boring. So you can't do this with a real tree. You could have the reindeer flying. And you're not on a ladder giving them flight. Come on. How cute is that? And one last thing. This, again, is from Christmas traditions. And this is what I call a mess, but it's worth it. Because it really doesn't matter where it goes. It's wired little stars, silver stars, that you just have to kind of trust where it goes on the tree. Somebody asked me today, what do you think about garland? And I said, I try not to. Because garland can drive you crazy. If you think about garland, garland only has one purpose, that's to frustrate you. Or for you to bring out the calculator to figure, okay, how come to my eye, this is this, it's that long, this is, and this doesn't match that, and it always, unless you have professionals with tape measures, look good. It always looks, why did they put that on there? Oh, what about the garland that comes from the top down? Why, you know what, if it does, let all of it come on the same side, if it's a ribbon garland. You don't have to do the whole tree. Just do a part of it. Why would you do that? I don't know, interest? Remaining sane and calm during the holidays instead of, how do you make it look natural when you're working it in like this? I'm done with this. Done, over, out. That's it. Thank you. So we have time now for some, I promise you, short answers to questions. Yes. I bought the tree at Kennecott. Christmas Traditions, or Traditions Christmas. It's on your sheet. Yes, ma'am. Yes, there's a brace in the back, and I got that from, I want to say Amazon. Yep. Yes. You know what? I think it might be D. Gaines. Yes. D. Gaines in Geneva. I would think Gaines. So possibly. She does it out of her house. But she has a house. She has a house walk or show, or right? Yes, ma'am. That was from Home Depot. Yep. No, I did not have to paint that. Online. Yep. And it's very light. Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. Oh, right. Let me find that. I'll look for that. Oh. No. Oh, there it is. The other side. What was the ribbon? The name of the ribbon that I wrote? Stretchy ribbon. Stretchy ribbon. It comes in multiple colors. Best ribbon ever. Now you can only find it online. So I would Google stretchy ribbon, see if it looks like a tube. It always reminds me of that game when we played as kids where your finger gets stuck in that tube. Yeah. Oh, this. That's a very good question about LEDs. So, an LED will always come with this. This is the outlet. So you push this down, it always comes with this. Then you push this. There's two little prongs here. You line it up. In a sense, yeah, it's kind of the same. And then that cap, you screw that down and plug it in, and these will light. You have to use a whole new string. You have to have a power strip if you want to keep connected. Because this won't connect to anything but a,
Use 10 of those 100.
yeah. Yep. Anyone else? Yes. Oh, plaster of Paris. Plaster of Paris. Found in any 5th or 6th grade. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Where did I buy the lights from? The LEDs, you can find those in probably Home Depot, Lowe's. They're very popular now. You just have to read the box because they come in colors now. So you want to make sure you're getting the right, whatever you're getting. And then look for that wire and how many you get on a strand. A couple of years ago when we were, they went initially from 100 to 150, then it went to 500, then 750, and then last year they came out with 1,000. But I think it's even more than that now. On one line. That's amazing. It's amazing. Yes. I typically go top to bottom. To go bottom to top is irritating because you're running into branches. Especially on a tree like this. This took me some 4 days to do. The lighting, because of that wire, I wanted to do it once and not do it again. So I was winding. That's just me with this particular tree and knowing where it would go. Pretty much, yeah. You don't have to do that, but if you wanted that kind of look, you could. I go in, out, in, out, in, out. Yeah, branching, follow the branch, and then back again, because you have to go back. If you go down, you're going to have a wire underneath. You have to adhere to that and to the limb that's holding it all together, per se. Yes. Oh, this? Oh, yeah. No, you unplug it, you get a big garbage bag, what I did, like a super, one of those super, put it over the whole tree, it stands in the corner of my garage, I put a, some kind of knot around the bottom, and that's where this was for a year. Not decorated either, I mean, you take the decorations off. Yeah, yes. I don't actually have a formula. That's why I have relationships with everybody at Ace or Hobby Lobby or Home Depot. When I walk into Hobby Lobby and Lombard, they're like, hey, Steve's here. I know, they'll tell you, they'll say how many you should use, but that's just a suggestion. Don't be afraid. You can always return the lights if you overbuy. Yes? This tree? Maybe 4,000 lights. Yes. They're not having an open house in Geneva. Deborah's done the open house in Geneva, the Holiday House, for almost 20 years. This year she decided, I'm doing my own house. So they're not having one in Geneva. The open house is her house in Wayne. So, yeah. Yes. Oh, the 14th is Bloomin' Gardens, which is in Sycamore, and that's noted on your page. That's a different animal. Was that who went to Sycamore this past summer? That was a great event. And I have a question. How many people here are members for 12 months or less? That you've been a member of the club? Could you stand up for a moment? I'm not embarrassing you. I promise. Okay, so those of you who are members, how long have you been a member of the club? 6 months. 10 months. Okay. So all of you who are members, really, before you leave this room, go talk to one or more of these 4 ladies, because there are women in here who've been members for a long time, deeply involved, and we could have a board meeting right now. Where are you? 1, she left. 2, 3, there's almost 4 or 5 board members here who are women. So, cool place. Used to be all men. Can you imagine anything more boring? Because I can't. Draining. Oh. Anyway, any other questions? Really, I'm serious. Meet these 4 people. It's very important. Community, community, community. Thank you all for coming.